Hi guys, so I'm going to read Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes number 2. So this will be in my Avengers playlist, the 2000s Marvel playlist, and also if I finish the series, if I get by 5 parts, Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes mini-series will be in its own playlist. So Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Again, my voices aren't going to be as good because I still got the flu a bit. But Stanley presents traces of the Vita Ray bombardment consistent with the few notes existing on Operation Rebirth. But what's most fascinating is its effect while frozen in the ice. The formula actually prevented the crystallization of his bodily fluids, which explains the survivable state of suspended animation we found him in. Some peculiar brain activity, though. I suppose I'll have to run more tests. Okay, we're done for now. Sorry it took so long. How you doing in here? Fine. I'm fine. Joe Casey, writer. Scott Collins, art. Maury Hollowell, color art. Richard Starkings, letters. Andy Schmidt and Nicole Wiley, assistant editors. Tom Brevoort, editor. Joe Quesada, editor-in-chief. Dan Buckley, publisher. We may do some follow-up tests at some point, but I don't want to keep you locked up in here all day. I bet you're freezing in here. Tell you the truth, I haven't gotten warm since, well, I can imagine. I guess I should just shut up and be grateful. Is the examination complete? May I enter? Sure. Come on in, Jervis. I brought coffee. Perfect timing. You must have a sixth sense about these things. You've met Captain America? Yes, well, just briefly. Before. You're staring, Jervis. Not that I blame you. This is a bona fide living legend standing in our midst. I mean, I've read at least 20 books about you. Maybe I should read them. It might help with these memory gaps. I'm sure it'll all come back in time. Jarvis, you should have seen the looks on our faces when we pulled that hunk of ice in from the ocean. Sensors had picked up a human biosignature. But once we saw the uniform, the Wasp almost had a heart attack. It was definitely a moment for the history books. I know I got a little crazy when I came to, Giant Man. I hope I didn't hurt anyone. I just didn't know where I was. I couldn't. My God. Maybe you should take him back to his room. I need to collate the data I've gathered and speak to the others. Of course. If you'll come this way, sir. You lead, I'll follow. Oh, and if I haven't said this already, thank you. My pleasure, Captain. Call me Steve. Tsh. I've stocked more clean clothes. Stark Industries issue, I'm afraid. There's the television, fresh towels in the bathroom. Thanks. The papers are on the table. They're from the Pentagon, something about back pay. Your uniform is hanging in the closet. Mr. Stark had it fully restored. In any case, sleep well, sir. You've certainly earned it. It says, welcome back, Cap. Tony Stark. Yeah, some of the male voices, I can't do, because, again, my throat's still kind of bad. I can't do some of the male voices. I'm sorry about that. But television. You gotta beat her time and eat the most maggots. Ready? Go! Don't puke, Gale. Don't puke into do it. Continuing tensions in the Middle East, as UN troops were ambushed by local militia forces. Retaliation was swift and...
So you tell me, Governor, can you get through a fiscal quarter without harassing your female pages in the Capitol building?
Her God is dead, and so is her mom. Go ahead and set the school on fire. Ah! So physically, he's well on his way to a complete recovery. That serum they gave him, its effect on his physiology remains undiminished, even after all these years. Okay.
Well, Dr. Erskine was at the very top of his field until he was assassinated. As for our newfound friend, he hasn't been seen since 1945. Army Intel lists him as MIA. That could mean anything. So are we all convinced this is the real Captain America?
These are his army records, in full. Physical exams, blood work, psychological testing. State-of-the-art for the era. My data perfectly matches those specs. So it's definitely him. But there's something else. At this point, I'm a little skeptical about his capacity to function emotionally. He's still coping with the reality of his situation. For him to consider active duty again, it could be problematic on several levels. Anyway, that's my perspective.
Let it be said, I have known warriors wrongly banished to Niflheim itself, who have returned to perform even greater glories.
Niflheim. I see.
Okay, let's not get into a full-on debate about this just yet. Let's give him some time to adjust. Then we'll see where we are. In the meantime, there's a bit more research to be done. Something I'd like to check into. Aha! I was right. This is fantastic. I take it you found something of interest? That's putting it mildly, Thor. Cap's status as an Army Special Operative automatically grants him the kind of across-the-board security clearance we've been fighting to get. Here's the thing. There's a loophole. It applies to any of Cap's wartime allies under Provisional Security Clearance clause. We can use that. Your intentions are admirable, but any achievement on the basis of a contractual technicality, there is very little honor in that. I'm sorry you feel that way. I wish we had a more honorable alternative. If we can prove ourselves to the NSC quickly, I don't see how they won't. I do not live in a world where I must prove myself to politicians. We don't all live in your world, Thor, but I'll do whatever it takes to make sure everything we built here doesn't go to pot. If you don't agree with my leadership choices, don't hold back. I'm listening. Your leadership? Perhaps thou art laboring under false presumptions, Iron Man. Our internal struggles pale in comparison to our true goals. To soundly smite the enemies of mortal man. To avenge those who have suffered the evil of this world. You would do well not to confuse those objectives with your personal crusades. Right. If you're trying to keep me on my toes, you're doing a good job. I propose the temporary detente, but I doubt it's in your nature. And I'm sure that where you come from, wherever that might be, you don't have to deal with all that red tape that, quite honestly, makes me want to strangle someone. But I'm in too deep now. I'm too committed to see this fail. So, if I ask you about Asgard, will I get another flowery speech? Are you finally going to level with me? I mean, you claim godhood, but I'm just not sure if I can... Thor? I hate when he does that.
Hello? Oh, hey. How's it going? Don't mind me, just, raiding the fridge. Jarvis makes a mean egg salad. Oh, where's my manners, huh? Rick Jones. Nice to meet you.
Steve Rogers.
Unbelievable. You okay?
I'm fine. Just couldn't sleep. So you're not a prowler, then? Who are you? I mean...
You mean who am I to the Avengers? Please. If it wasn't for me, these guys would have got together in the first place. A friend of mine got into a little trouble. I called for some help. They answered afterwards. They decided that a varsity team might not be such a bad idea.
I'm afraid I can't say the same of my decision to give you a key, Mr. Jones. These late-night visits are beginning to rattle my nerves. Shall I make a fresh pot of coffee?
So I do what I can to keep the big green lug in line. And let me tell you, it's steady work. Couldn't keep him around here. But whatever. Some things aren't meant to be. He's kept these guys busy, that's for sure. Bet you've been in a few hairy situations, huh? Like behind enemy lines and all that?
Well, I don't... Please forgive him, sir. He may be a bit too young to realize that the memories of war are never pleasant ones. I hesitate to say this, sir. What you meant to that generation, and subsequent generations, that needed you more than you'll ever know. You were more than a soldier. You were a symbol of every decent thing this country has ever fought for. To think that you could be that again.
No pressure, Jarv. Jeez.
Of course. You're right. My apologies, sir. It's not my place to say such things. It's okay, Jarvis. And I honestly don't mind the questions. I just... can't remember much.
No worries, Cap. You got enough to deal with just memorizing the cable stations. Uh-oh. My watch says it's time to hit it. Got a day ahead of me. Thanks for the grub, Jarvis. Free food's a hell of a perk in this business. Hang in there, Cap. You'll be back to butt kicking and name taking in no time. Adios, amigos.
Kid's a handful, eh?
Sir, you have no idea.
So, what can you tell me about these Avengers? What are they trying to do here?
Ah, yes. A legitimate query. To be quite honest, they've been trying to figure that out themselves. It's not an easy thing they're attempting. Forming an alliance whose sole purpose is to protect the innocent from whatever threats may arise. I'm sure it's their hope that you'll join them in their mission.
Me? Look, Jarvis, I can't fault their intentions, but I don't know if that's the right choice for me. I mean, I don't belong here, in this time period. It's a fluke that I'm even alive. The world has changed so drastically. I might end up being more of a hindrance than a help to them. I'd like to show you something in the study. Looks like no one comes in here. No one does. Currently, you are the mansion's only resident. Besides me, of course. And you're correct.
This is a much different era than the one you came from. I see people having trouble finding something to believe in. You have returned to a world starving for inspiration, whether they know it or not. The Avengers have the ability to provide that, but don't take my word for it. I think this states their purpose and their potential much better than I ever could. I found something that I believe in. Once you read that, perhaps you will too. And it's the official charter of the Avengers. 1 week later, Avengers! We need a barricade! So this is when they're fighting the lava men. Whoa! I got one right on my... Ah! Hey, thanks, Cap. You shouldn't be here!
I don't know how long I can hold them back. My transistors!
I'm here, Iron Man.
Might be too little too late. The rock's gone molten. Won't be long before.
Step aside, gentlemen. I've got this one.
Not bad, people. A little teamwork goes a long way.
I did a quick recon. For the moment, they've cleared out.
Where on earth is Thor? Speak of the devil.
The negotiations went well. These creatures shall forever remain in the subterranean domain. They will not soon forget that the Avengers guard the gates of mortal civilization. Heads up, partners. The army's moving in. Frankly, I'm still shocked they complied with our request that they stand down.
When Captain America's asking, who's going to refuse him? Right, Cap? Cap?
Perhaps the most significant development of the recent emergence of American superheroes is the return of the original superhero, Captain America. Our news team hit the streets to ask New Yorkers their opinions. I couldn't believe it when I heard. The stories my grandfather told me about him. What can I say? Gives me hope. Hope? Couldn't have put it better myself, Agent Murch. But not everyone is so easily convinced by the news of Captain America's return.
I don't know. How do we know he's the real thing? For all I know, he could be just some ringer in a flat costume.
Oh, good Lord. It never fails. The cynicism of modern society.
Well, you seem fine about the guy bursting with hope. People aren't going to fall all over themselves just because your friends are hanging out with a war hero, even if it is Captain America.
I'm not sure I like the implication. You know he's the real deal.
True, but that little stunt they pulled in Arizona, using the captain's priority status to fly into restricted airspace, you can let them know from me, they won't be using him as an excuse again.
That was an emergency situation, Murch. And I know for a fact that the Army was grateful for the assistance.
Maybe they were, but the NSC doesn't appreciate when people don't take us seriously. And the big deal they've made about Captain America in their ranks. We're not completely convinced he's mentally fit for the job. The man's been on ice for decades, Stark. Can you imagine what's that's done for his head?
Have you talked to him?
Not yet. But I've read everything on his return. His reintegration interviews, his lengthy debriefings. The man doesn't even remember how he got here.
Okay. Let's try a different tack. Let's say he checks out, to your satisfaction. Will that ensure the Avengers their security clearance? He is a national hero, an icon.
Stark, I have to tell you, It's so much easier to talk directly to you. It's certainly more productive than dealing with a bodyguard with delusions of grandeur.
I trust Iron Man with my life. As for Captain America,
Fine, just between us. Your friend's chances have certainly improved with a good captain on their side. My bosses could be suckers for that patriotic crap.
can I quote you on that?
I'm a true patriot, Stark. That means I'm going to be watching the Avengers very closely. It's possible this could work out for them. And for Captain America. If he doesn't crack under the pressure, that is.
And it's to be continued. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, that'd be appreciated. If you have any requests you want me to do, just let me know down in the comments below. And I'll tell you the date I can do the request. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys later.